All right, welcome back to another Beatles reaction. I'm continuing going in chronological order, and today I'm checking out Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles, of course. If you guys haven't seen my reaction to Rubber Soul and Revolver, make sure to go check those out. This one came out only a year after Revolver, so they really were just kind of on a roll with like releasing albums back to back to back within pretty quick succession. So yeah, I'm excited to get into this. One thing it does say on Genius here about this album is that this album, and referring to the title, was kind of a concept of recording as an alias band. That's interesting. I don't know if we're gonna get anything that alludes to that lyrically, but I guess we'll see. Make sure to go join the Patreon if you want to see this reaction uncut. Link in the description down below. And we're gonna hop into it. The first track is the title track. Whoa. Vocals are mixed so far back, it's crazy. Ooh, good timing there. We're getting pretty meta here, definitely. Good transition. Okay, we're getting pretty seemingly self-referential in the lyrics of this first track. As I said in the beginning, it seems like it's kind of alluding to an alias, the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Maybe with how much popularity, all the fame that they've achieved at this point, all the notoriety, maybe it's somewhat getting to their heads. Not getting to their heads, but they're becoming really self-aware at this point. Interesting. Okay, we'll see if maybe this theme kind of continues throughout. The next track is With a Little Help from Friends.
What would you think if I sang out a tune and I'll try not to sing out of key? Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends.
Whoa. Okay, lyrically, this is really standing out to me. So this is Ringo singing. First verse, what would you think if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? I'll try not to sing out of key. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Is this, I don't know, like the critical discussion surrounding the Beatles at this time, but maybe there's discussion around Ringo not being as musically talented as the other members by the general media, and maybe this is kind of poking fun at that a little bit. But it also seems like it's a double entendre for like a relationship-centered track as well, so I guess we'll see. Love that bass tone. It's really nice. I love how kind of like ugly the guitars are in this track, like purposefully ugly. It feels like it's reflecting kind of the very sad state of this song in a really effective way. I mean, it's really interesting. You can really hear like the 2 years difference, even though it's only 2 years between Rubber Soul and this. You can really hear the technological advancements in terms of production. The vocals on here so far have been way further back, kind of reverbed out, and it doesn't feel. It still feels live, but it feels like there is more kind of post-production, I guess, post-touch-up. This track feels very, very sad. It feels very lonely, even though he's singing about I get by with a little help from my friends. He also says I get high with a little help. So are his friends here metaphorical friends, not just, you know, his legit friends or his bandmates, but who knows, drugs, alcohol. And like I said, I like how that track was very jagged and kind of ugly and uncomfortable to kind of match that mood. Next track is Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Picture yourself in a boat on a river.
Dude, the pitched up vocals? Wow. Oh. Dude, good contrast between these verses and choruses. Oh, it's so harsh. I'm just thinking back now to the Rubber Soul reaction and how I said that album was like a lot more harsh and abrasive than I expected it to be. This is so much more harsh and abrasive and distorted than that album. This is basically Rubber Soul if you fed it through some sort of meat grinder, you know? It's gross, it's ugly, but there's still little shots of beauty with the melodies in there. Really like the rhythm on this track and just the slowdowns between and that contrast between the choruses and the verses. This feels lyrically too, it's very imagery heavy, very abstract, maybe the most like drug infused track so far. I loved when they went more psychedelic on Revolver, like the last track, Tomorrow Never Knows, and this feels like kind of a continuation of that. And the pitching up of the vocals too immediately, of course, reminded me of Frank Ocean. Now, I will clarify, whenever I say something reminds me of something, usually it's going to be things that happened after the Beatles. And I don't mean that the Beatles are stealing from those people. I'm obviously meaning that what it reminds me of is influenced by the Beatles. I don't know why I have to clarify that, but there was a comment on the Revolver reaction, or it might have been Rubber Soul, where I said, oh, this guitar tone sounds like the Smiths. And someone commented, does he know that the Smiths came after the Beatles? Yes. Yes, I know that the Smiths came after the Beatles. Just because I say something reminds me of this doesn't mean that I think that the Beatles are derivative of whatever else I'm bringing up, you know? I'm getting heated because sometimes, why do I have to explain that? I don't know. I'm getting heated. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta chill out. Like, I'm actually getting legit heated. This isn't even a joke either. This is... okay. Next track. Next track is... Getting Better. I need to get better because there's no reason I should be getting this heated over comments. Again, very jagged.
Getting better all the time. Teachers that taught me weren't cool.
Whoa.
We used to be angry young men. Getting so much better all the time. That you love.
Oh, that's scraping. Man.
Getting so much better all the time.
Man. That track is so punchy. Those hits are crazy with the guitars and just the vocals syncing up with it and even the drums all syncing up at points. It's just very, again, very punchy. There is times where I feel like the guitar itself, it's kind of lending itself to a more interesting vocal performance. And while I think it's interesting at times, sometimes it just doesn't do enough to make up for the fact that the guitar chords are just kind of, you know, the same thing over and over. But that's just really my only complaint with that. I love just, again, how harsh that track is. And I think it's as, at least at this point, from what I've heard from the Beatles, as like aggressive as you'll hear them. And not necessarily aggressive in the way where it's like crazy screamed harsh metal vocals, but aggressive in the way that it's like very piercing and, like I said, scraping sounds, and it just like it's a very insistent groove that's kind of visceral and just kind of punches you in the face. So one thing I've noticed is that we've kind of steered away from that kind of meta commentary on being a band, I guess, that we had in the first track, and I think a little bit in the second track as well. Next track is Fixing a Hole.
Where it will go.
Good harmonies there. I will say, sonically so far, this album is a lot more of a tough listen, and I think it's like purposefully that way, you know? But I think lyrically, this is actually the most invested I've been in any of these Beatles reactions so far. I think just how personal things are getting here is really interesting. I'm fixing a hole where the rain gets in and stops my mind from wandering. It feels like this track is being scared of where your thoughts are going to go, and maybe, again, we're still high out of our mind here on this track. And again, that I'm fixing a hole where the rain gets in. He doesn't want that rain to get in, you know, that rain being those thoughts that he doesn't want. I don't know. Like I said, it feels very self-reflective in a way that, Like, obviously there was that on earlier Beatles albums, but this album so far feels very much more in its own head. Genius is saying this is about how McCartney's fans would stand outside of his house all the time and how he saw the issue from his perspective. I mean, that would make you kind of lose your mind. So yeah, it could be about that, but to me it comes across as a little bit more just in his own head. Next track is She's Leaving Home. Whoa, nice harp.
Wednesday morning at 5 o'clock. The
Strings are so good.
We gave her most of our life. We gave her everything money could buy. Father snores as his wife, baby's gone.
Dude, those spacey vocals are so nice.
She's leaving home.
Man, great melody in that track. I feel like it's one of those melodies that you feel like you've already heard before in your life because it's just so, I don't know, there's something about it. And it feels very timeless as well. Kind of has this Baroque feel with the strings, obviously. But it also feels really modern at the same time in terms of like just the way the vocals are performed and the way they're mixed and just the harmonies going on. It feels very ahead of its time in that way. There's points there where the vocals, when those like spacey vocals came in, it kind of reminded me of like Sigur Rós. And admittedly, I'm not a huge fan of Sigur Rós, but I think they do have some really beautiful songs that these vocals kind of reminded me of. So apparently it's a story about a girl that left home to be with her boyfriend. Is that what it is? With her older, croupier boyfriend. What does croupier mean? Oh, the person in charge of a gambling table. See, you can tell I don't go gambling. Beautiful track. Let's keep going. Being for the benefit of Mr. Kite.
For the benefit of Mr. Kite,
Whoa!
there will be a show tonight on Trampoline.
Those intimate double vocals. Whoa.
Bank is there, what a scene.
Actually, I don't think they're doubled. They just have some cool processing on them.
Over men and horses, hoops and garters, lastly through a hogshead.
Oh, nice. He started spitting there.
And of course, Henry the horse dances the waltz.
Oh my god. What is happening?
Mr. Kite is topping the bill.
Dude, this production. Oh my. Dude. I'm genuinely shocked that that song was made in 1967. This album is 2 years after Rubber Soul, and that song feels like that song sounds futuristic now in 2024. That's crazy. Oh my, what kind of twisted carnival world were we at here? I'm gonna make another comparison, okay? But again, I'm not saying that the Beatles stole from this artist, because this artist dropped an album this year, okay? This reminds me of some Jordy Griep stuff and some Black Midi stuff in terms of it's so twisted and just like the storytelling here. Crazy. Crazy, dude. That production was so lush, and again, making this in 1967 is crazy. Like, some of this stuff, I don't even know how they produced this. Like, obviously, there's some organs in there. Of course, your traditional instruments, bass, guitar. I want to listen to that again, because there's so much little ear candy and textural stuff that I need to pick up on. Within You, Without You is next. Here we go. We're back. We've had this on every album, okay? We've had this kind of sitar, Middle Eastern, I guess you would say, kind of soundscape on every album. I think we had it a little bit on Rubber Soul. It was a bit more expanded on Revolver, and it looks like we're back here with it again. Whoa. Nice kind of watery texture to those drums.
Never glimpse the truth when it's far too late. With our love, we could save the world. We knew
I love how it feels like the vocal delivery and the instrumental itself are kind of going at two different paces. They don't feel really in sync together. Oh.
See beyond yourself, things on within you and without you.
Kind of at a loss for words, and I'm just kind of like emotionally tired at this point. Like, this album has already taken me through a lot. I mean, musically, that was, and production-wise, atmospherically, that was just on another level. Like, I thought Tomorrow Never Knows sounded good, and I think it does sound good, but it's just crazy how different that sounds from Rubber Soul. And again, this is 2 years apart. This is only 2 years, guys. 2 years! That's not a lot of time. I love the lyrics here. I love how vague they are, and they're just like, again, very self-reflective, kind of pondering on, I guess, like the meaning of the universe. It was beautiful. I just loved floating along to that. I couldn't do anything but just close my eyes and just appreciate all the textural work. And when I take a step back, like, I was really immersed in it, but when I take a step back too and just look at it like objectively, I'm like, how did they actually make this in 1967? You know, like, there's some tracks on here that feel very boundary pushing in terms of production. Next track is When I'm 64. I'm tired, like, this album's a lot.
When I get older, losing my hair, many years from now, birthday greetings, bottle of wine. Will you still feed me when I'm 64? I could be handy mending a fuse. Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? Send me a postcard, drop me a line, stating point of view. Or will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
That was a really simultaneously sweet but sad track. I feel like this one kind of hits close to home for me because, like, this is an irrational thought. Well, I wouldn't say it's irrational, but it's just like, I feel like probably too early to be having this thought, but like, a thing that I've been thinking a lot lately is just growing older and time passing too quickly and me maybe not enjoying being young enough. And yeah, I'm only 22, guys, so like, it's probably I'm being dramatic, okay? It's just been something I've been thinking, so this is hitting close to home for me, and I think that's why it hit me so hard. Obviously, it kind of has kind of an old school jazz, doo-woppy kind of feel to it. I just feel like I'm getting to know the Beatles a lot more on this album. It feels like their most personal record yet. Lovely Rita. Okay. Huge vocal.
Nothing can come between us when it gets dark. Lovely Rita.
Nice reverb on those horns.
Rita. Oh, lovely Rita, meet a maid.
Oh, good piano here. Those breaths too. Dude, this is... That piano, dude. I was freaking out at the end there, because I was like, this is begging to be sampled, that last section, but could you imagine sampling the Beatles? Like, a straight sample? How tough that would be to get cleared. But, like, I could hear MF Doom on the piano at the end there, and those drums, especially, at least the drums. Someone sample these drums. Hold on, let me play it again. Like, here. Dude, someone needs to sample that. Someone. Again, I don't know how you get that cleared, but it would work really well. Yeah, I love how in a matter of 5 minutes, This album will have me questioning my own life and existence and time. And then in the very next track, just be singing about Rita, a meter maid. Just a goofy little track about a meter maid. This album, it'll get you thinking, but it'll also have fun at the same time. All right, next track is Good Morning, Good Morning. Am I waking up in hell? What is happening? These horns are crazy.
Everybody knows there's nothing doing. Everything is closed, it's like a ruin. Then you decide to take a walk by the ocean.
This is so unhinged. What the fuck did I just listen to? In the best way possible. What the fuck did I... Dude, first off, this track starts and you're waking up in hell. Lennon and McCartney just going, good morning, good morning. Like, that was frightening. I was thinking for a second there, what if... I might make this my alarm. Having Lennon and McCartney just this haunting freaking unhinged good morning, good... Like, it feels like when they're singing this, they're like smiling towards the camera and they're just like staring into my soul. That's what I imagine the music video of this is. Them just singing, good morning, good morning. Again, the drugs are in full effect on this track. Genius says that they start saying Guten Morgen. Is that good morning? Is that German for good morning? Sounds like it. Yeah, okay. Guten Morgen. No, why am I doing a Scottish accent? Guten Morgen. I think the drugs are they're seeping through the track, into the headphones, into me as well. So, yeah, that track was a good morning track from hell. Next up, second last track is, okay, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, Reprise. Reprise? Another, like, hip-hop beat here? What? Dude, what a banger. Let's keep going. Let's flow into the last track here. Oh, A Day in the Life. I've heard about this track.
Today, oh boy.
I've heard this melody, yeah.
Well, I just had to laugh. He blew his mind out in a car.
Beautiful vocals, man. Like, just the way this is being sung is so tender. Paul McCartney's great, but John Lennon, I think, easily has the best voice out of the entire band.
Having read the
Whoa. Where are we going? Whoa. I just got chills, dude. Dude, I don't know what this song is making me feel, but it's making me feel things.
I read the news.
Chills again. I don't know. They did it again. And now we're just, yeah. Let's just go like ambient now. Why don't we? What the fuck is happening? Where the fuck am I? What the... Is it over? Are we done? I kind of didn't want it to be over. I was really enamored with the atmosphere of that track. Again, I don't know where I was. I don't know what was happening. I don't know what I was feeling. I was feeling stuff. There was emotion, but there was so much being thrown at me that I was getting kind of frustrated at points because I was like, this is really good, but like I don't really know why. I mean, just like technically, I mean, it sounded fucking fantastic, of course. Like I said, as a lot of the stuff on this album has, it sounded very ahead of its time. But there was just some intangible quality to that track that just made it really special. I was thinking about trying to explain why I think it works, but I actually don't even know why off of first listen. All I know is that it does work, and it's just like a very visceral, intuitive thing that I don't think really can be explained. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this album, one word, drugs. One thing I remember after doing like Pink Floyd reactions and stuff was like people were commenting like this album is so much better if you are high when you're listening to it, but I've never been high, so I don't know, but like honestly, I don't even think you need to, because the music itself is so immersive that I don't think like, maybe it helps, maybe it makes it even better than I can imagine, but the music is so well done that it already is taking me to a place that is otherworldly. I mean, Revolver was crazy at times as well, but this, again, I'm going to come back to it. This coming about only 2 years after Rubber Soul is honestly like shocking. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Again, as always, let me know any insights you have. And yeah, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, go join the Patreon if you want to see this reaction uncut. And I will see you guys in the next Beatles reaction.